Today is September 26th. Welcome on in to Daily Cards Live here on ClaibsOnline.com, brought to you by Royal Banks, Missouri, and Munganess St. Louis Acura. I'm Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Bob, Ramsey, and Rammer. Before we talk Brewers and Cardinals and get to some of the news from the ballpark today up at American Family Field, the baseball world lost a legend as Brooks Robinson passed away at the age of 86. At one point, he had won 16 Gold Gloves in a row, which is just absolutely incredible when you think about it.
You know, our good friend who's been the lead columnist and one of the great sports voices in St. Louis for nearly 40 years, Bernie Miklasz, grew up in Baltimore and talked about what an influence Brooks Robinson was on him as a kid. And then later on, as he got to know him as a colleague in the media, and his presence in Baltimore for all those years, he was a city icon, not unlike Stan Musial and Gibson and Brock, to Cardinal fans of a couple of the different generations, and Pujols and Molina will be to the generation who grew up watching them. No one will match the 16 Gold Gloves. And, despite what we want to say about metrics and, a couple of the Cardinal great third basemen that have come through in the last 15 years, I don't think anybody will be upset to say Brooks Robinson was the greatest third baseman ever.
Yeah, passed away earlier today at the age of 86. Played for the Orioles his entire career, 1955 all the way to 1977. Just crazy, that many years with the same organization, and we are seeing that. Well, we saw it last year with Yachty. We're seeing it this year with Adam Wainwright, two guys that played their entire professional careers with one team. And earlier today, up at the ballpark, Derek Gould reported that Adam Wainwright will not pitch at all in the final 6 games of the season. He won game number 200. They said that was it. That was all he had left in him, and it just exhausted everything out of that right arm of number 50, and he gave everything that he could to this organization over the last 2 decades.
Well, and he commented, too, that it was truly all he could do physically to throw the last pitch of that game that he threw. And it's been reported now that he's got 2 bulging discs in his the lumbar part of his spine, and he's going to have some cleanup on that right shoulder. And for all the reasons that you and I just have mentioned, that's probably the way that's the best way to end it as far as pitching goes. Now, does he pinch hit on Sunday? We'll see. I think the Cardinals have commented that it kind of depends on whether the Reds have anything to play for, that they don't want to clown up the game if there's something on the line. I suspect there won't be, but we'll wait and see.
Right now, the Reds are losing 3-0 to the Guardians in the bottom of the second inning as they entered the game 2.5 games out in the National League wild card, behind the Cubs and the Diamondbacks right now. Cubs play the Braves this week. Diamondbacks are playing the White Sox. So we'll have to scoreboard watch all of those games. We do have lineups for the game tonight. Cardinals and Brewers. Miles Miklasz on the mound. He's facing Adrian Hauser. Lineups brought to you by Bootleggin' Tavern. Go see all the games there. Whether you're going to see the Kansas City Chiefs and see if Taylor Swift is in the crowd for the game, or you're watching baseball playoffs in October, Bootleggin' Tavern at 4501 Shoto has all of the TVs and the games on with their bucket of beers and bucket of wings specials that they have going. What do you say? $30 for a bucket of wings and a bucket of beers over there at Bootleggin' Tavern. Miles Miklasz, Adrian Hauser on the mound. Tommy Edman is at second base. Paul Goldschmidt first. Lars Nootbaar in center. Jordan Walker in right. Richie Palacios is in left. Luke and Baker DHs. Andrew Kisner is behind the plate. Jose Fermin at third. Mason Wynn is at short. For the Brewers, Christian Yelich in left. Willem Contreras is behind the plate. Carlos Santana at first. Mark Canha is DHing. Sal Frelick in center. Willie Adames at short. Josh Donaldson at third. Bryce Terang at second. Tyrone Taylor in right. Rammer, I don't know if you saw this over the weekend, but the guy that closed out the National League Central for the Brewers, Rowdy Tellez, in an interview, the big lefty on the mound, closing things down for the Brewers and helping them clinch, joins the ranks of names like CC Sabathia, Josh Hader, and Raleigh Fingers as pitchers who were on the mound for the Brewers as they clinched division titles. He said in an interview that Josh Donaldson refused to introduce himself to his teammates as he was called up from AAA to join the big league club, saying they should know who I am already.
That seems like a pretty fun, kind of crazy bunch up there. For obvious reasons, I've never really been a Brewers fan, but I've always, going back to Robin Yount and Paul Molitor and Cooper and Ogilvy and individuals I've always liked over the years, and this seems like a pretty fun bunch.
Yeah, and also, too, I didn't realize Craig Counsell is coaching without a contract for 2024. So there could be a lot of shifting in managers, and I don't know how much the Brewers are. It doesn't seem like they're in a hurry to lock him down. So that would be really, really interesting if they let him walk after this year, after the success that they've had on the season, because there's going to be some decent jobs you would expect to be open after this season, the Yankees being one of those.
It's kind of the way that many clubs did it back in the old days. Walter Alston, one of the great managers, he managed the Dodgers for many, many years. And I forgot what the number is. Somebody can look it up. But like a series of 23 one-year contracts. It was really pretty crazy. And would just go year to year, and he was happy with it. The Dodgers were happy with it. And that's kind of the way baseball used to be. I haven't heard any reports of any ill will, so I don't expect there is any.
Yeah, I believe. Yankees kind of on the fence with Boone right now, especially after missing the playoffs. Terry Francona hasn't officially said that he is retiring, but he's doing an awful lot of hinting at that. Other jobs around baseball. Who knows what the Angels are going to do this offseason, especially now. Mike Trout might have also played his last game for the Angels, a very emotional press conference with him about what the possibilities are for him moving forward with the Angels, still under contract. But if you lose Shohei and you're just there all by yourself, at some point, Mike Trout has to do what's best for Mike Trout and ask to be moved to an organization that has a chance at playing in October.
Yeah, and you don't blame him at his age. He's in the peak or just past the peak mainly because of injuries, and he's got a number of years left, but he's no spring chicken, and he wants to contend, and I don't think anybody would blame him.
Yeah, so a lot of different managerial openings could be coming on the horizon after this week. I'm trying to was anybody let go mid-season this year? I'm trying to think right now if there were any moves or anything, and you
didn't bring that up in the pre-show meeting, so I didn't do any research.
I'm just trying to think off the top of my head if there were any that happened during the year, and there's none that I can think of as far as managers. Buck Showalter too is another one that, with the Mets saying that they're not going to contend next year, he very well could just say, you know what, I'm going to go back behind a desk. I'm going to go back in front of the camera behind the.
The only thing that's off the top of my head is my hair. Yeah. So,
Rammer, baseball tonight, 6:40 from American Family Field up in Milwaukee. It is Cardinals. It is Brewers. As we mentioned earlier, a few other series to watch this week as we start to wind down on the regular season. Rangers got a win last night over the Angels, so you're watching the Mariners and the Astros. That is the big series going on in baseball right now. And then Cubs and Braves. Braves really have nothing to play for right now. Cubs have everything in the world to play for with a postseason trip on the line. So I would say those are the two big ones this week as far as baseball goes before we head to the final weekend of the regular season.
Of those last 6 games, the Mariners, if I'm not mistaken, play the Astros and the Rangers. And you would say, hey, it's right there in front of you, but it's also a daunting task. If they can get red hot these last 6 games, put themselves in, that's quite a feather in their cap. And, we always talk about who's the hot team going in. That would make them the hot team. But I don't like their chances.
It's it's a tough task in front of you. As one of those teams might in the AOS might be on the outside looking in after a very good regular season. Rammer, we're brought to you each and every day by Munganess St. Louis Acura and also Royal Banks of Missouri.
Royal Banks for better service means better banking. Call my friends at Royal at 314-212-1500. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Talk to you tomorrow before Cardinals and Brewers right here on Daily Cards Live. It's another edition of on ClaibsOnline.com.
Munganess St. Louis Acura has a great selection of new and certified pre-owned Acuras. Get 3.9% financing for up to 36 months on all new Acura models, or get $1,000 in loyalty incentives on the 2023 TLX and RDX, and $750 in loyalty incentives on the 2024 Integra. Get financing as low as 1.99% for up to 36 months on certified pre-owned TLX and MDX models. Munganess St. Louis Acura, better than ever for you.